Hello and welcome back to part 3 of our little top-down racing game here. We have a car, we have a track, we have a start/finish line. We are ready to do some coding. So, first things first, let's head over to the coding tab up here. There is our code to control our car. And let's grab our car and put it at the start line. I'm going to put mine there. And we can see straight away that this car, even though it's at size 50, is still way too big for this track that we drew. So let's try and halve that again at 25, and we'll click out here so it activates. There it is. 25 looks pretty good. And then we're going to come down to the direction here, and we'll click in there, and then we're just going to rotate it so that it lines up nicely with the start of your track. And your number here is obviously going to be a little bit different to mine depending on how you've drawn your track and where you've put your starting line. So I'm pretty happy with that there. That looks pretty nice. Now let's do some coding. So every single time we press the flag to start a new race, what we want to happen is the car needs to go back to the starting line here. So let's just click and wiggle the car around a little bit, and we'll go up to our motion blocks. And we will make sure that these go to XY numbers equal these X and Y values here. And mine do. If they don't, again, you just click and wiggle on your sprite and it should change over here. And you can see mine's changed slightly because I moved it a little bit. So we'll grab this one. It's the 5th block down, and we're going to take that and we'll put it in between when the flag is clicked and our forever loop. So now if I grab the car, and presumably you've just had a race with your friend, and you press the flag again, the car goes back to the starting line. Awesome. So now we need a way to trigger laps every time we cross this start/finish line. So we're going to need a variable called laps. So let's click on the variables tab over here. We'll make a new variable called laps. Very nice. And now we're going to, when we restart the race by pressing the flag, we're going to set laps to 0 because no laps have been completed yet. So now we can start adding in some logic and some code for calculating laps. Like obviously the lap counter has to go up as we cross this white line here. So let's go to our start/finish sprite, and we will grab a flag from the events area, and then we will grab a forever loop from control, and then an if and then block also. 4th one down. Make sure you're not grabbing if, then, and else. So what do we want to happen here? Well, every time the car touches this line or the line touches the car, so we'll go to sensing and grab a touching mouse pointer. It's at the very top there. And we'll grab car. So if touching the car, then we'll go back to our variables blocks and we will change laps by 1. Now there's going to be a little bit of a problem here. So if I press the flag and I press forward, you'll notice that our laps counter, even though we've just crossed it once, has gone up to 6. All right, I'll press the flag again so you can see again, drive over, it's gone to 6 again. Why is that happening? Well, it's because this is happening forever. So every single time that this car is touching this white line, it triggers change laps by 1. And it takes a little while for this car here, I'm just clicking and dragging it to show you, but it takes a little while for this car to cross the white line. So for the entire time that the car is touching this line, the entire time, this lap counter is going up, all right? So what we need to do is after this has happened, we actually need to set a little wait time, all right? So we'll go to events. Actually, no, we'll go to control, sorry, my bad. We'll go to control, it's the top block here, and we'll add in a 1 second wait time. Now, to avoid cheating, like obviously someone could just drive forward here, and you'll notice that it is working now. The lap counter does say, in fact, 1. If we reversed back over it now, we could just keep increasing the lap times like this, and it's big old cheating, all right? This is no good. So to avoid this, what we could do is if touching car and maybe holding up on the keyboard, which would mean that we are moving forwards, then this could happen. So let's do that. So we'll go to our operators block and we'll grab an and we'll just pop this touching car out and we'll put it in here. We'll chuck this one in here, and in sensing, we'll do key up arrow pressed. Okay, so now I can drive forwards over the start/finish line, and I can reverse, but it doesn't do anything. Look at that. It does still do this though, which is a slight problem. Okay, so what we probably need to do here is add a longer wait time. So what we could do is we can drive around the track and count in our heads how long roughly it takes on a good lap to get all the way around the track on a good lap. So let's go around. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So about 11 seconds per lap. And I drove that pretty well. So let's change this to, I'm not sure, 10 seconds. All right, let's do 10 seconds. And so now we can't keep triggering this because we're waiting for 10 seconds until it can be triggered again. If you find you're getting better at the game and you're suddenly doing better lap times than this, all you'd have to do is to decrease this number a little bit. But this should stop most cheating. Okay, so if we press the flag now, we can do a little lap around like this, all the way around, and it should now trigger. And I must have done that one even quicker. Holy moly, look at that. I'm going to have to decrease that time for sure. So again, coding's all about problem solving. So it didn't work the first time, but we're not going to give up. We're just going to change this. So maybe let's change the wait time to 8 seconds because apparently I'm a super good driver. Now, another problem here, I've just pressed the flag again, is you've noticed that this car is now angled how it was before. It is no longer on our direction of, I think it was around 98. Okay, so what we can do here is in our motion blocks, when we press the flag, and we're again on the car sprite here, when we press the flag, we can point in direction 98. I think I was pretty happy with. And now, if we've turned up here a little bit, and we're now facing up and to the left, if I press the flag, the car will now rotate correctly. This is getting pretty good now. Now, this seems too easy. You're thinking, man, I could just drive anywhere I want on the grass, and I could just zip around the road, and who cares? Well, in racing, usually there's some rules. And in this particular racing game, we want to make it a little bit challenging. And what we don't want to happen is for this car here to touch the grass. And if it does touch the grass, there needs to be some sort of penalty. And that penalty should probably be going back to the start. I think that seems pretty fair, don't you? That'll make it pretty tricky. So let's do this. In our forever loop, what we can do is we can add in another if and then. So let's go to control and we'll grab a fifth if and then. We'll chuck it all the way down here at the bottom and we'll do a sensing block for color. So in here, we're going to change this color to the color of our grass. And we could do that. I don't think you could do it actually unless you were looking at these numbers, but it would be really hard to drag these around to get the exact color. So instead, we're going to come and click on this little thingy over here. This is an eyedropper tool. And then we'll come over here and you can see we've got this big circle around our mouse and we're now able to select the exact shade of green that we want. So I'm going to click on here. And if we touch this color green, I'm going to send the car back to there. So we'll put the car where we would like it. We will change our direction to how we would like it pointing. I'm going to put it, actually I might rotate just a little bit more. 98 still feels good. I'm going to put it there. I am going to come over to our go to XY block, making sure that these numbers are the same as these numbers where we've just put the car. And I'm going to also do a point in direction block for 98, the same as the beginning. And so now I'll press the flag and I'll drive onto the grass and oh no, We've come back here. Now, the reason I haven't put the car behind the starting line is because potentially that could trigger another lap, especially if we crashed all the way out here towards the end of the lap. That wouldn't be very good. Okay, and that's a hard penalty. If you crash all the way back there, you go all the way back to the start. That kind of sucks. But it's cool because it adds a little bit more challenge to the game, especially when you start racing your friends. So, you will have noticed there too that when I drive onto the grass, we can kind of just immediately start driving again. And that can be a little bit disorientating. So what we'll do here is we'll just add in a little bit of a wait time. 1 second. So not only do we go back to the start, but there's also a little 1 second penalty to start driving. But what that will allow you to do is to kind of get your bearings a bit and figure out where you are. All right. So that is some really, really basic logic now. I mean, there's a lot going on, but it is fairly basic. So we will leave it there and let's go into a part 4 where we add in a friend that you can race, and we will have to change these lap variables so that each car has their own lap counter. I will see you in the next video.